Well, hi there, everybody, and we're here at the end of the Big Ideas conference in Chicago. I'm joined by Abhi. Thank you very much for joining me.
Absolutely, pleasure.
I'd love to hear your feedback. Now, all the sessions are in the bag. What are some of the main things that you've taken away from today?
Um, First thing I think is there's a lot of decisions that you hear about when you're working in a procurement organization that not all of them make sense. I think just attending this session um, gave me a lot of answers to those decisions. Why are my leaders taking those decisions? What's the reasons behind them? And I think it gave you a different perspective into what problems are we facing within supply chain globally. And I thought that was amazing.
What are some of those challenges that you think that really came out that maybe you weren't thinking about or that you hadn't conceptualized before today?
I think geopolitical environment that we live in, when you're working at a level where you don't hear about these things in your day-to-day world, it kind of looks pretty far-fetched. You don't think about these things and how are they going to affect supply chain in general. I think, um, but all of us need to be very observant and realistic of what's happening around us and how can they impact what decisions do you take at your job. I think that was very important, and I mean I loved some of the quotes that people said, especially one was that said, it's not real if it's not virtual, and I loved that. I mean, everything, the intent of this was to be more virtual, and I really like that.
A couple of the sessions, and especially the session that we just ended on, talked a lot about leadership. I'm really interested if there's, if you're looking at leadership or thinking what a leader actually is, thinking about it in a different way because of those sessions that we heard, that we had the opportunity to listen in on.
I think um, uh, one of the things that was talked about in the last session was that leadership is about enabling the potential of people, and I really like that. I mean, it's not about the leader, it's not about you, and stepping up even if you don't have a good leadership is very important. um, I loved the session. It was not something I would have imagined in a supply chain or a procurement summit, but he was right about the fact that leadership is leadership, no matter what division, what department are you in, what organization you work in, and I thought that was true definition of leadership is.
No, there was a quote that I really loved about the fact that leadership isn't a position, and that's something that it's difficult. You sometimes lose track of that because you're kind of working in organizations that are hierarchical, but that you don't have to be in a position that has a title to be a leader.
That's true. I think it's a lot cultural as well. I mean, I've realized working in different parts of the world is people have different definitions of leadership. Some people do truly equate leadership with what's on your door tag, and I think that's a mentality we need to strive to change. That leadership is about yourself and not the position you hold. Definitely.
Well, Abby, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you everybody for listening into these short videos that we did over the course of today. You can still join the conversation using the hashtag BigIdeas2017 on Twitter, and as for the Big Idea itself, well, it'll be back at the end of October in Melbourne. So thanks again for joining us, and participate again when we're back in October. Thanks.